Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Jimmy is Promo. And so I've been doing this for 8 years now. This is a anniversary of the very first upload I've ever done. And it seems like I've been having a little bit of problems going online with the setup that I have here. So now I just want to make sure that we are online. I tried going on about 7 minutes ago and had to pull off and then try to restart it all over again. But let's make sure that we are online. It looks like we're supposed to be online. And I might be using even one of my phones to, keep up with all of the updates and comments that everybody has. So yeah, looks like we are online. Able to check it out right here. And I also have my overhead camera as well. So what we have going on here is that if anybody has any questions, I'd be able to do demos. So if there's anything that you ever want to learn about, if there's any questions that you have, basically I'm here for you guys answering some questions. But really more than likely, or mostly for this video, is just a celebration of doing YouTube for 8 years. Now granted, the first year, I barely did anything. I remember, it was, March 28th of 2012 was when I uploaded my very first video. I was talking about the Galaxy Note 1. I guess to kind of tell you what I was doing a promotional gig. I was inside of an AT&T location, which was where, the very first Note was only sold at AT&T in March. And then it was in October the same year was when it actually pushed out to all the other carriers. So anyways, on March, in 2012, working a promotional gig for Samsung, was not an employee of Samsung, but I was hired to train any customer that walked in on this huge Galaxy Note phone. So it was, the first of its kind. It had a stylus that people kept calling styluses when it was called an S Pen. It was blocky, rectangular, large, and in charge. And my job was to show people what the phone was able to do. And then I remember one day they're like, "Hey, you can take the phone with you home, practice it more, come on in the next weekend and show it off some more." And it was at that moment in time where I'm like, "Hey, if I'm showing people in stores, I want to shoot a video and upload it on YouTube." So when I look back on, the memories on Facebook, you're able to check out anything that you've uploaded. So I was able to look at a picture from 8 years ago and I said, "Hey, check out this video, just uploaded it." It got 49 views and I'm super stoked. And then I think I wrote something like a few hours later and I was like, "Hey, this video's got 119 views. Go over there, give this thing a view, give it a like." And I was super excited. And I remember my first month, I got 4,000 views. And that was one of the things that I used in my resume, where I have a YouTube channel. I showed some things off about a Samsung Note phone. It's got 4,000 views in the first month. And that was all I remember from the very get-go. So granted, started very slow. I uploaded maybe, I don't know. I think I uploaded like 4 videos that year. The following year in 2013, I think I uploaded somewhere around 9 or 13 videos. The year after that, I made like 35 videos. So I started very slow, but it is an 8-year anniversary. So we're just going to take a look at a few comments here. Good evening, Big John Tech Reviews. What's up, Hansel? Let's see, Gail, what's up? Hello. Show the keyboard features in 2.1. Honestly, there was a few features that I was trying to play with inside of the keyboard. So let me go inside. I'm going to go inside of a random conversation just so I don't show off some real phone numbers here. So inside of, let's see, let's move this on down. So inside of this keyboard here, it says that there's a lot of really cool things that you're able to do. It looks like kind of Inception right here. Let's move that out of the way. So it looks as if there's a thing where if, let's say that you go and you type some things, it states that, you can, let's say that you delete it, but then you're able to pull it back I was not able to find that out just yet, but there is a lot of really cool tips if you want to learn about it. Just head over into this application here. It's actually already pre-installed and downloaded on a phone, on Samsung phones. It could be in your Samsung folder. And there's some things, I don't know if it's in the control your phone. So like this is what I was trying to talk about and do. Swipe to undo and redo. So let me know if you guys were able to do this. When I tried to, do that whole gesture that I see in this video, I was not really able to. But you are able to do a lot of customizations with your keyboard and everything else. So maybe I'll play with that. Maybe I'll have to take a look at a few more settings. But yeah, there's some pretty cool things you can do in 2.1. But that one in particular, I was not able to do for some reason. So, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a long 8 years. So actually, I've held a full-time job for the very last like 7 years. And so when I did YouTube, it was at night. So I was doing YouTube basically from 9 p.m. until midnight or 1 a.m. So I did that for 6 years, 7 years, or I should say probably 4 years when I was actually taking it serious and I knew it could actually be a thing. So for the past, there's 4 years where I did a full-time job, played dad, did everything else, and then I did YouTube from 9 p.m. until midnight or 1 a.m. And then I would usually wake up at like 4 a.m. just to make sure the video was uploaded, ready to go, rendered, because I had slower internet. and then I went back to bed, woke up, went to work, did everything else. But yeah, I've been doing YouTube full time for the last 1 year. So yeah, I don't need to wake up anymore at 4 a.m. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Congrats. Keep it up, Jimmy. Thank you. Stay safe, everyone. Remember, at least 6 feet. Yes, everyone stay 6 feet away and try not to touch your face like I just did. But luckily, I have washed my hands several times within the last hour. So good to go. Any news on the sequel to the Big Boy Galaxy Watch? So Drew is asking if there's going to be a new Galaxy Watch. I believe that... I'm trying to think if I remember anything coming up. I know that there's going to be some new A series phones, which actually I need to open up these phones here. So I've actually got the A10e that I need to unbox and review, the A20 as well as the A50, which I hear a lot of good things on the A50. I just wanted to get a few things done and out of the way of the S20 before I opened these guys up. And I'm probably going to start an account on Swappa. If you've never heard of Swappa, it's a place, it's kind of like Craigslist, but you can sell all of your electronics and things like that. So I think what I'll do is I created a Swappa account. I just don't have anything listed. So anything that I don't use will actually go on there. And you guys know that I don't do drop tests anymore. But in terms of the watch, so I think the new A series comes up in the next 2 months, and then the new watch, I believe they usually do it towards the end of the year with the Note launch. So, check back around, let's say August, September, then we should be looking hopefully at a brand new watch. But I use, as of right now, the Gear S3 Frontier. So I had the Classic and the Frontier, got rid of the Classic, and then I kept the Frontier. Let's see here. What about the new small incoming call notification Android 10? My wife's phone has it. Mine doesn't. We have Note 9s. Actually, that was going to be something that's I think that's actually a part of a video I'm about to shoot, is talking about the smaller in-screen call. So let me show you where that's actually at. So let me move this to the overhead shot, and I'll be able to show you exactly what that looks like. So with the Galaxy S20 Ultra right here, all you would actually really have to do is head inside of your phone. And then on the top right-hand side, you're going to click on Settings. And then this is where you go into what you want your screen to basically look like. So it's going to be very small. So you have the full screen. So when someone actually calls in, it'll be the entire screen. Pop-up is what most people might be used to. Or you can do the mini pop-up. So this is something that I have mine set on. It's pretty nice. It stays out of the way of everything. So if you're watching a YouTube video, if you're doing a text message, it doesn't take over everything. It's actually really nice. So this should be a part of Android 2.1. Let me take a look really fast. Let me take a look really fast at my other phone here. Let me see if this one has it as well. So we're gonna go inside of settings, and it's actually a part of also Android 2 or the Samsung One UI 2.1. So switching this one on back, you can actually see that this is my Galaxy Note 10 Plus right here, and this does have that mini pop-up. So this could be limited to maybe per carrier, but it sounds like, if your wife has it, you should also have it because more than likely you have the same carrier. But just go inside of your call, like your phone app, and go to the top where you have your settings, and you'll be able to see that it is a part of Samsung One UI 2.1 and as well as 2.0. So yes, you should actually have that on your phone. So we're gonna head back, see what other comments we got. And if you hear my dog, it's our little toy poodle that's barking out there. So let's see here. What about the small? Okay, so we got that. Will you be doing videos on LG V60, ThinQ, or just Sammy? So Peter, more than likely, everything I do is with Samsung. I mean, I'll use a Pixel. So I'll use Pixel. I also have OnePlus and Samsung. So I'm actually not a big fan of LG. I've used one of their phones in the past. They just don't really hold up. Also, with my past job, I mean, the thing is that I visited stores every day for 7 years, and LG came in a lot with a lot of issues. And the thing about it is that LG doesn't sell as much as Samsung or Apple. So when it comes down to a phone that doesn't sell as much but comes in with a lot of issues, I don't really go over to that. So I stuck with my niche, which is Samsung. So I would rather have a YouTube channel based off of a huge history with Samsung, based off of knowledge where I'm actually an expert in, versus just being some random guy on YouTube talking about a phone that I know as much as you do. It doesn't really make sense. So I hope that you guys appreciate the fact that I'm trying to stay within my expert zone, which is mostly about Samsung devices, because why would you want to go to a doctor if they don't specialize in what you are looking for? You're not going to go get your knee done by an eye doctor. So we'll not be doing videos on the LG, but I own, again, OnePlus and Pixel. I would have to say that the moment you own a Pixel, there's really no reason to have a OnePlus device. They're both pretty much vanilla devices. They both have, they're both really snappy, but when it comes down to the end result of the camera, that is why I never use OnePlus. I stuck with Pixel and Samsung for my camera and phone needs. Okay, so Kyle, so it looks like that you have it. Your wife's phone automatically switched to it, but yours didn't, and you have it now. So that's awesome. Yeah, you're able to find the answer, and that's pretty much it. I'm glad that you're able to find it out, man. I have the Note 9. Will the mini pop up thanks to your videos? Okay, cool. Good. So the Note 9 also has it as well. So yeah, so pretty much anybody with a 2.0 and 2.1 will be able to have that. Can you talk about using 2.1 versus the Nova launcher, and which one do you like better and why? And someone says something about HTC. Yeah, they're not around anymore. I think they're gone. So with the Samsung One UI 2.1, so there's a couple things to also keep in mind. So with me also doing YouTube, I have to keep the phones pretty much like I can make a separate phone about different launchers if I want to use Nova. And I've used Nova for probably 2 years. But because of YouTube, I gotten so many comments of like, what are you doing? Mine doesn't look like that. Why does yours look different than mine? Why can't I find that? So really, because of what I'm doing with YouTube, showing off a phone that people purchase, and it's people watching these videos that know everything about the phone. They probably even know more than me, or similar to the same wavelength as me, or it could be a daughter, it could be a grandmother, it could be somebody who has had Apple for the last 10 years and then switched over to Samsung. So really, my videos are meant for anybody and everybody, from novice to intermediate to high advanced. And so if I do another video on Nova, it would be like an individual video, but I can't always run it because then it just messes up all the comments and everything that Samsung has to offer in a Samsung phone when you get it out of a box stock. So the answer to that question is that I do like Samsung One UI, especially with what they've been doing for the last year. So I would say 3, 4 years ago, it was really fun customizing your phone from head to toe, using different launchers, doing a whole bunch of crazy things. That was back when Nova was huge. But Samsung has done very good with keeping it very simple, a lot of cool features that only the One UI can do and Nova cannot. Even though Nova can do a few things that the One UI can't, but again, I have to default back into what my audience is watching, what they're trying to look for, and it's all the questions based off of what they get out of the box when they buy this phone. So yeah, I like the Samsung One UI better than Nova. I have used it for 2 years. It's probably changed completely because I haven't used it lately. But I hope you can kind of get where I'm coming from with why I keep my phone stock. And it's just a way for me to just help answer things. Also, when I get a comment and I don't know the answer right away, I might go to my phone to try to find the answer. And if I'm running a Nova launcher, I might not be able to find it exactly with what they were looking for. Let's see. What else do we got here? That's the reason why I love your videos. You know what you're doing. Thank you. Big Ed, congrats. Thanks, man. I have the Pixel 3a XL as well. I'm torn between it and the Note 9. Can't wait to see what the Pixel 5 brings. Yeah, I feel like there's supposed to be a better phone after the Pixel 5. So I don't think the Pixel 5 is exactly what we all think it's going to be. So I would maybe wait for one more device after the Pixel 5, which will come right after that. My son has the Pixel 3a, but not the XL. I have the Pixel 4 XL, which is a super nice phone. But, you know, like this channel is really known for the Samsung videos. Every time I shot a Pixel video, it didn't really do so well. So, yeah, that's also the reason why I just keep staying with the answers, or I'm staying with my niche. How about the new Sony Xperia phones? And then also Danny says, so how well does Nova run? So from my understanding, a lot of people still uses Nova. Nova runs well. I mean, I thought it was really cool. There's a lot of customization behind it. I would say that if you're a 70-year-old grandma, you're not going to want to put Nova on. But if you're very tech savvy and you would like to fully customize your phone, make a few changes, go for Nova. When it comes down to the Sony Xperia phone, I mean, gosh, I think I've owned one Sony Xperia phone, and so that's not really my main thing that I do here. So there's a lot of channels out there, a lot of YouTube channels that do a really good job at either doing a high overview on every single phone. There's a few of them that can actually go in depth with multiple companies, but again, like I said from before, you know, I'm here for the Samsung family, here for squad goals, here to talk about what I know as an expert to help you guys out, instead of just trying to feel like I know what I'm talking about, or just making up some BS, you know, high overview of a phone. Like, hey, this is the phone. It's got a power button. The volume rocker is over here. You got your plug on the bottom. It's got this type of screen. We know that. But nobody really goes in depth on every company. So I'm here to go in depth on Samsung. I know my buddy Brett, he has a lot of knowledge with Samsung, and he goes more in depth on Google. Let's see, I got a few friends that can go high overview on Apple and Samsung, but I'm mostly just with the Samsung, and hopefully I don't lose anybody off that. But at least you all know I can answer the Samsung stuff. So Note 9 is the king, headphone jack. Yeah, let's see. I don't think I have a Note 9 now. I have a Note 8 upstairs. Yeah, I have a Note 8 upstairs that has a headphone jack, but I really haven't used it lately. And I'd have to say that if you're fully against, you know, losing the headphone jack, I think once you actually get a phone that does not have the headphone jack, then you get used to it really fast, because everything that you do is Bluetooth. Everything connected is Bluetooth. Let's see. You also have the Type-C headphones that come inside the box. And you also have dongles. So I have a dongle in my car that goes from the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack into Type C. So this way I can plug it into my phone and it just stays in the cord. So it's as if it hasn't changed. So I believe once you actually move over to a phone without the headphone jack, you'll be perfectly fine. I know a lot of people like to hold on to that, but I was also one of those people. But once you move on, you moved on. It's kind of like an ex. Once you're gone, it's gone. Move on. Or am I using the Galaxy S20 Ultra? So yes, let me just do an overhead shot. So actually right in front of me here, keeping up with the comments. This is the Galaxy S20 Ultra. And what I do is I always take off my little scooch clip from the back of the phone. So this way it'll stay, flat on the table. But yeah, so this is the Galaxy, S20 Ultra. And then I also have got the Galaxy S20 right over here. Let me move this out of the way. So this is the S20. The reason why I bought the Galaxy S20 is because this phone here is AT&T, and there is two major Samsung features that I use, and AT&T blocked it. I tried to sideload APKs. I could flash my phone, change the ROM into an unlocked phone, but I'm going to leave it the way it is. And so when you go inside of your settings and you go down over into advanced features, the AT&T version does not have, let me show you the two different settings or two different features I use. So it does not have call text on other devices, and it also does not have the game launcher. So game launcher is big. I love to have all my games in one spot. It also gives me more options of other games to download, a whole bunch of really cool stats and information, and it just puts it all in the one location. The moment you download a game, it goes into the folder, and you don't have extra crap lying around. So this AT&T phone blocked it. So it's actually not sitting there. And then you can see right up over here that the call-in text on other devices is not on this side. So I tried moving these APKs over, it didn't work. So that's the reason why that I have the S20. Also, I wanted to do some videos talking about my experience using an S20 and the S20 Ultra, talking about the camera differences, talking about battery life differences, the size and the weight. And I'd have to say, I guess I'll tell you guys right now, the Ultra is really nice. I mean, there's really no complaints other than it is just too tall and it's just too heavy. I'd have to say that if everything stayed the same, but you took off about 50 grams, this would be a fantastic phone. The S20 is actually really nice, and I'd have to say that the size is really good. It's perfect for when I'm doing multitasking with my hand and whatever I'm doing with my other hand. And then the weight is fantastic. I'd say that the S20 Ultra or the S20 Plus, the middle brother, is going to be the best bet. Out of using and owning both of these phones for almost the same period, because I had the S20 Ultra right away. And then once my S20 came in, I moved over my SIM card and I've been using this. And I just moved my SIM card back over yesterday. And when you get the Plus version, that is the pudding. That is the winner. That is the perfect size. That's the perfect weight. Samsung needs to stop right now with this weight, this size. And I'd have to say too, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is like perfect. When you look at the size difference between all three of these, the weight, the size, the way that everything is with this phone is like literally perfect. And it's and when you have the S20 Plus, it'll be slightly thinner or less wide, but it's going to be the same height. And so if anybody is looking for some phone to get and you don't know if you want to get, the S20 Ultra, the S20 Plus, or the S20, I would say go for the Plus. You're going to get, best of both worlds, the size, the weight, the cameras, the battery life, everything, because the battery life on the S20 sucks compared to any other phone I've used lately. So the S20, I mean, it gets, I might get like 4 or 5 hours of screen time, and then I want to plug it in. I almost need to plug it in after 4 hours of screen time, 5 hours of screen time. But when it comes to the S20 Ultra, I've used this thing where I've had 3 hours of screen time. I've used it where I've had 6 hours of screen time. And I always plug it in at night at 11 o'clock, and it has like 34% left. So I have not even used 70% of my phone yet. And I've had it on days where it went up to 6 hours of screen time. So if you're wondering, battery life on the S20 Ultra, fantastic, can't beat it. And I don't really see a huge difference between the 120 hertz and the 60 hertz. So going between the how smooth the screen is, I've went with WQHD with the 60 hertz refresh rate. I went with the 120 refresh rate with Full HD Plus, and I also did it at 60, and I really don't see a huge difference. You'll only see the difference when your phone gets down to 10%. It's probably gonna just drain after that. But I hope that kind of makes sense. S20 Ultra is fantastic. It's my daily driver for right now. I switch it sometimes over into the S20. Then I sometimes switch it over into the Flip, which, I mean, the Z Flip is still a fantastic phone. I just love folding it up and tossing it on the couch, folding it up, putting it in my pocket. I have never once ever thought I was going to hurt the screen. The only thing I'd have to say that I do is that when I actually put my thumb inside to start flipping it open, I use my chest for the rest of the way. I know that my buddy CJ Knows Tech, he actually just flips it. He just flips it open like a little switchblade. I have not really done that yet, but yeah, this thing is durable. People are afraid of this. You know, it's got that little film screen. It's not actually made of glass. There's just little glass particles inside of there. The reason why it's not made of glass is that if it was, and I punctured it, so if I took, let's say that I took this SIM card popper, right? If I was to take this and push it all the way through the screen, it would actually hit the LED and it would not crack. So if I was to take this to any other phone, it would actually put a crack and spider web out because it's glass. This is actually not glass. It's just mostly film with a little bit of glass particles in it. And so, yeah, it's a fun phone. But, yeah, S20 Ultra is my main driver. It is just too heavy. All right, I went off the rails on that one. Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, got that S20 Ultra. I had the Sony Xperia Play. It was just a PSP with a phone SIM card, pretty much. Let's see, I can back up my Nova settings and set up and restore it after all my apps are on my new phone each time. It puts them back on folders, etc. Yeah, so actually Nova does it, but so does Samsung Smart Switch. So when I did Samsung Smart Switch, I did that actually to this phone right here. Let me show you, and I'll have to get out of my little comment section. So this is the S20 that I did the video with just the other day, where I did Samsung Smart Switch, and you can see here that every single thing is sitting in the exact same spot except for this one little app. So my screensaver or the wallpaper moved over, my Wi-Fi settings move over, my Bluetooth settings moved over. Every single thing I was ever connected to, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, moved over with Samsung Smart Switch. Every folder is sitting in the exact same spot. Every icon is sitting in the exact same spot. Every single thing has came over except for a few of the applications I would have to re-download, but that's the same with almost anything because you always have to re-accept the permissions legally with every application that you download. So yeah, so when it comes down over into the Samsung Smart Switch, you are able to have everything move over as well. Let's see, what else do we got here? Let's see, the S10 is King 2. It has the headphone jack. Actually, I think I got my S10 right here. Yeah, so I have the Galaxy S10 right here, and it does have that headphone jack on the bottom. And it's always fun going back to these phones, and I'll tell you what, the one thing that is kind of crazy that we moved past was, you know, with the S10 and everything like that, you had like your power button over here, Bixby button, and volume key. You have everything just dispersed everywhere, so many buttons, and I'm so glad that Samsung has gone away from all those buttons, went down basically into that multi-purpose button right here for Bixby and power, and then you also have your volume rocker too. So I'm so glad that with the Galaxy S10, they you know, we moved past that and went into something a little bit more streamlined. What else do we got here? Let's see. Can't wait for the Galaxy Note 20. Yeah, I can't wait for the Note 20 as well. I'm more of a Note guy. But when it comes down for the Note 20, I don't think I'll get the Plus. More than likely, it'll be the Note 20 and the Note 20 Plus. Or they might just go with Note 20 Plus and Note 20 Ultra. Might as well keep the the major, you know, letters and words at the end of it, right? So I don't think I'll go for the largest note just because of what I'm running into with the Ultra. The Ultra is really cool. You know, it's got a little bit extra RAM, a little bit extra storage, you know, options. The 100 times zoom, it's cool, you can do it, but the images is not really that great. But I'd have to say, because it has a 10 time optical zoom, when you do the 30 time zoom image, it actually looks really good. Let me see if I can actually find a few images that I've done this with. So, you know what, let's move to the overhead. Let me show you these images. And when it comes down to that 30 times zoom, it actually looks really cool. So this is me just like completely zoomed out. This is that 0.5, right? This one right here is that 1. I believe this is either 2 or 4. And then we moved, let's see, let me look. So actually this is, I believe this is 10. Yeah, this is 10 times zoom. Looks really good. This is 30 times zoom, and you can actually, even when I zoom in a little bit more, I mean, you can just see that water come down. So this is that 30 times zoom, which is fantastic. The S20 cannot pull off an image like that. And then you got that 100 times zoom. I don't really feel anybody would ever need that. Let me look over at another image here. So I did this again. It was actually pretty fun. So let's see, where is that? Here we go. So when it comes down to this one right here too, so I think this is at 1x, and then we moved over into, I don't know if this is like 2 or 4x. Let's see. So this would probably be 10x, which it looks really good. So here's that 1. Wait, let's go back. I'm confusing. Here's 1. This is like 3 or 4x. That's that 10x, and I'm zooming in on that 100 million right there. That's that 30x, which is sick. I mean, that's actually a really cool image, and it came out really good. I mean, even the lettering, usually lettering messes up, right? When you zoom in that far, and I'm holding it, so it has that human failure rate of me just moving slightly, and then it went to that 100 times zoom, which it's really cool that it came like that crisp with letters, but it's not really that practical. It is pretty fun and cool. You can't beat this. This is 30 times zoom, again, with the S20 Ultra. The S20 is not able to get that good of image quality as this. But yeah, man, we were far. You can see just how far we were. Like that little sign would have been right there. Right there. There we go. There's that 30. And then there's that 100. I mean, it's just super, super impressive. But when it comes down to that, you know, that 100 times zoom, it might not be something that is really all that practical. But that 30 time is pretty sick. So when it comes down to the Note 20, I don't know if I'll get the biggest version. I don't need that 100K or that 100 times zoom. So I don't know. We'll look at the prices. We'll see what really is the differences. But yeah, and then you know, earlier we're talking about AT&T versus Unlocked. Unlock is way better. Always go for Unlock. Don't get a carrier phone. Just go to Samsung.com and purchase the phone from them. Yes, you can buy it as a carrier device through their, you know, payment plans. But when you have an AT&T or Verizon, Sprint or T-Mobile locked phone, there's a lot of things that gets blocked, and you don't get the updates first. So the update for the camera came to my S20, but not my S20 Ultra. And that's because AT&T has to approve of that update that Samsung sent. But because you have an unlocked phone, it just goes off right away, just like Pixel does. So yeah, huge fan. Glad that I got the S20 just so I can do that video so far of an update to the camera, because AT&T did not send it off yet. Yeah, definitely go over into Unlocked. You made me want to get the S20. I already have the S20 Plus. Yeah, I mean, the S20, I mean, it feels really good. But you have the S20 Plus. You might as well just keep that. I would say that that's the winner. That's the king of all three phones. That's just my thoughts. What's your thoughts on the Galaxy Fold? Would you have one? I love the name. I don't know if I should say it. So Titty Twister asked the question. What's your thoughts on the Galaxy Fold? Would you have one? I already had one and I returned it. The main reasons why I returned it is because, you know, it's not practical. I hated the fact that I always had to fold it open because it was a big fold and it was not one hand friendly. It was horrible. So let's say that you're driving and you should not be using your phone, but we all do it. If you're driving and you want to open up your fold, it is a two-hand operation, and it just was not fantastic. So if I'm trying to get my maps going because I need to see where I'm about to go, then that's when, you know, it just was not fun. And so I returned it to the fact of it was always a two-handed device, always. And, you know, I have a 10-year-old and an infant. And when it comes down to wanting to look at your phone really quick, but you're trying to hold them or maybe feed them, it just doesn't work. And so, you know, when you have a phone that is just already candy bar shape, you don't have to flip open, fold open. This is very convenient, very easy. But when it comes down to the flip, I have no buyer's remorse with this one. You know, you can open it with two hands. You can open it with one hand. It's smaller. It's compact. If I want to hang up on somebody, you close it. It actually feels really good. And again, with the Fold, I had buyer's remorse. With this one, I did not. Even though it was like $700 cheaper, you know, there's still no buyer's remorse with the Flip. With the Fold, the other main reason why is because it was not going to help get a new phone. So when it comes down to, you know, the S20, when I trade this in for the next phone, because I always do the Samsung trade-in program, I send it in, I get my big discount, and then I buy the phone outright so I don't have to keep paying and making payments. If you can't purchase a phone outright, you can use Samsung payments, the Samsung installment plan, and it's pretty much works the same way as an AT&T or any other carrier phone, but you're not locked in with that carrier, and you have the regular Samsung phone with no carrier bloatware, because you know the last thing you want to have is carrier bloatware and Samsung bloatware, which I like the Samsung apps and features. Anyways, the Fold was a $2,000 phone that would not be able to be used as a trade-in value for any other phone. Example, when I purchased the S20 Ultra, the Galaxy Fold was not even an option. It's a $2,000 phone that they wouldn't even give me $600 for as a trade-in. So my thought was, I was like, hey, I'm really glad I used the phone. It's pretty great, but I'm going to return it within my 14 days to get my full refund back. So I got all $2,100 back with tax, and I didn't have to worry about, oh crap, I want to get this new S20. You know, maybe you got the S20 Plus that was a $1,100 or $1,200 phone, but you're trading in a $2,000 phone, which is double the price, and you didn't even get $600 for it. It made no sense practicality. I thought of it. That is why I returned the Fold. But I kept the Flip because this is going to be pretty cool. And granted, you know, Samsung might come out with like the Fold 2, and then if you have the original Fold, you might get a good trade-in value, but that is not promised. So that is why I returned it. Let's see, did your channel get hacked a while back? I saw Asian videos being uploaded on it by the second. No. Nope, never got hacked. And if there was videos on it, then I would have been able to see it. So I know that there's other YouTube channels out there that steal my videos, which is actually why I put on, let's see if I can point at it. I put on Jimmy's promo on the bottom. This is called a lower third. That's what it's called. So I put that there, so if anybody steals my videos, they would actually have to crop it up, and it doesn't make sense. That's also why I put in, you know, welcome to Jimmy's promo. So I actually have to state my channel name at the beginning. That's why I also have this behind me. So yeah, there's a lot of people that stole YouTube videos, monetized off of them. So I put basically my logo as many locations as possible. So yeah, no one hacked my channel. Do you know how to turn off microphone on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus while connected to Bluetooth? You know, that's a pretty good question. And if you're connected through Bluetooth, I think there should just be a mute button for whatever you're connected with. Let's see. How do you turn off microphone on the Note 10 Plus while connected to Bluetooth? So is that when you're on a phone call? Trying to figure out what that would kind of be. be looking at. Any word on the 2.1 coming out, Sprint Note 10 Plus? So it should be soon. I mean, with the Galaxy S20 already out, I would say 2.1 is supposed to be early summer. And because that's a big, full, user interface, there's a lot going on with it, and there's a lot to finish up per each carrier, because what happens is Samsung sends off the update to each carrier, and then the carrier has to approve of the update, but then the carrier wants to add in their own updates to that update, because maybe they have an update to Sprint Center or the Sprint payment app or something. So then Samsung would have to go back, make sure all the updates are ready to go with their updates, push it back to the carrier, and then they approve of it. So that's actually what happens there. Let's see here. Think we will get RCS on Samsung. So some carriers do have RCS and some don't. A lot of them, like even Sprint has one that's called enhanced messaging. So I feel that it should be coming soon. I mean, with RCS, we just have to make sure that it's picked up by everybody, and then it'll be hopefully put into Samsung stock messages. And if you don't want to wait, you can download Android messages, and Android messages has RCS. That is built in. Rod says, to clarify, while on a phone call. So in terms of putting your microphone on mute when you're on a phone call, there should be a mute option with the headset through Bluetooth, or when you're on a phone call, just hit the mute button. That's how you mute the microphone. Smart Switch is great. I saw that Smart Switch is a lot faster now. I'll find when I get the Galaxy Fold 2, I'll hold on to my Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I have a lot of phones. Can you exchange your J7 Pro with my S10? So I'm going to have to say no on that one, just because the reason why I have so many phones is because I use my other phones to trade in for new ones. So basically how YouTubers do it is a couple different ways. The first way is if the company wants to partner with them, they send them the phone. They do all their reviews for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they actually have to send it back, so they don't keep them. Then you have people like me who is not that big, and we have to purchase our own phones. And so what we do is we buy the phones, we hold on to them, we do all the videos we can, make all the money back on them, and then we actually trade these in for the new phone. So I traded in a phone for the Galaxy S20 Ultra, which was able to save me quite a bit of money. And then when it came down to the S20, I actually traded in my S10. But because I just received this, and because of the coronavirus, I have an additional few more weeks for me to send this back. So what'll happen is I'll send this S10 Plus probably back within the next week or two, which allowed me to get this phone for $400. Now, a lot of people are like, man, the S20 is so expensive. It's $1,000 starting off. Yeah, but if you have a phone to trade in, it's only like $400. So that's kind of how we do it. And also too, on the back end of doing YouTube, this is a business, and so these are expenses, and so I write them off. And so that's actually how we kind of do that, is trade-ins. Let's see. Can you get one of the Samsung bracelets? So I think this one, I don't have these. And if I make them, Samsung would probably get mad for copyright. So I can't really make these and sell these. So I got these bracelets, t-shirts, all the Samsung stuff from Samsung. So there's really no way for me to really make it and sell it. So I wish I had more bracelets and stuff to give. I just don't think I could. What is the best phone right now? For the best phone right now, I would say if it's a brand new phone, it would be probably the Galaxy S20 Plus, just because it's the middle brother of the brand new S20 series. It's the perfect size, perfect weight. The S20 Ultra is so heavy. But when it comes down to other brands, I would probably say the Pixel 4 XL. So if you don't want to get the S20 and you're looking for a different phone, I would go for the Pixel 4 XL. Zero complaints on that phone, except for it not being a Samsung. Let's just be honest here. Do you have a Galaxy Watch Active 2? I do not, but I believe my buddy Tech with Brett does. The Galaxy Watch Active series is too small for my wrist, so it would have to be the Under Armour edition Galaxy Watch Active 2, I believe, that was actually large enough millimeter for my wrist. So my wrists are a little bit larger, and so having the original Galaxy Active or the smaller Active it would look funny. It would look goofy on me. So those ones were really made for females. When they came out with the Active 2, the larger millimeter, then that was actually made for men. So I don't have that one. And I told myself I wasn't going to get a new watch until this year or next year. So whatever new watch is going to come out that is large enough, I will get that this year. Unless if it doesn't look great, it'll be next year. The S3 Frontier is everything that I need. It has all the pedometers, all the health information, and it tells me the time and any type of notifications coming through. So I'm perfectly happy with this one. I'm hoping the Fold 2 will have a much larger screen on the outside. Yeah, that's the other big thing is, the original Fold, there's a difference between wanting to unfold and needing to unfold. So when it came down to the Fold, I wanted to open the phone. So at any point in time, if I wanted to open it up, then I could have. But because the screen was so small, I had to open it up. And that was the issue. And the prototype that first launched had the Fold having a full screen on the front. That would have been a little bit easier to manage because on that small screen, it was not working. But yes, I am with you there too. Trevon is hoping the Fold 2 has a larger screen on the front. What's the little dude doing? Growing up fast, I bet. Yeah, so the little one, he is 5 weeks now, I believe. He's 5 weeks old, getting a little bit bigger, and sometimes he can smile when I say smile, and I actually smile, so he's doing really good. He's probably, hopefully, going to bed right now. And then my other 10-year-old, I'm going to cut this off at probably about 10 o'clock so I can get him to bed as well. Since there's no school right now and he's being homeschooled, I am allowing him to be, up a little bit later than normal. Usually on school nights, he's laying down at like 8:30, usually like 8:30. But because of what's going on, he's able to stay up to like 9:30. So trying to be that cool dad, But yeah, everything is going good so far. I'd have to say that the two things that I miss is going to the gym and then having my little dude go to school so I could be on a routine. Now with him home all day, I have no routine. And so there's really no start and end time because I love the fact I would drop him off at school. I would shoot YouTube until he was off school. Then I'd pick him up. But now that there's no routine, there's nothing for me to go off of. All my videos are now sporadic. So that's kind of what you guys are seeing here. That's why some of my videos are kind of crazy uploads, I guess. I'm just not consistent. So yeah. Let's see here. 46 millimeter Galaxy Watch Active or the 44 millimeter Active 2. Can't decide. That's a pretty good one there. So just because of my complaints with my wrist size, I would go with the 46 millimeter Galaxy Watch. But if you have a little bit smaller wrists or just try it on at Best Buy, throw on that 44 millimeter Active Watch 2. And if you like that one, go for it. I believe the Active Watch 2 has a really nice user interface. And the way that it interacts is a little bit better than the original Galaxy Watch. So if it looks good on you at that 44 millimeter, go for it. Is what I'm going to say there. Log home. William Gann, Galaxy Note 9. Hi. What's up, man? Upgrade worth it from the Note 10 Plus to the S20 Ultra if both running 2.1. I would say hold off for the Galaxy Note 10 Plus to the S20 Ultra because this is the Note 10 Plus right here. And if I didn't do YouTube, more than likely the S20 would not be purchased. I would still be using my Note. So it really depends if you're a Note guy or a Samsung S guy or if it doesn't matter. I like my S Pen. I use my S Pen all the time. And the size and the weight of this is actually fantastic, which is the Note 10 Plus. And also too, lately I've taken a picture at Unpacked, and I took a picture of my motorcycle the other day, and a lot of people asked me if that was the S20, and it was not. I was just using live focus with the Note 10 Plus. So you still have a really good camera on the Note 10 Plus. So you might as well stick with that one for right now and wait for the Note 20. Hey Jimmy, are you using your S20 Ultra on 120 hertz or 60? Mine is set for 120 hertz. I tried 60. What I usually do is I do 120 hertz for 2 days, 60 hertz for 2 days, 120 for 2 days, 60 for 2 days, just to see if there's any difference in battery life. And to be completely honest, as a normal everyday dude, there is no difference unless if you're trying to make it have a difference, running all of these obscene tests that is putting it to the max that an everyday person would not do, then you would see a difference. But I don't see a difference because my phone always goes down to about 34% every day, using it from 7 in the morning until like 11 p.m. at night. And so I've never used 3/4 of my battery yet on the S20 Ultra. And almost every day now lately, it's been at 120 hertz. The IR blaster needs to come back. Yeah, that is one thing that's missing. I have an active and I feel very offended. And I'm a male. Don't be offended, man. There's some dudes that can pull it off. Like there's some guys that has maybe smaller wrists. Like I don't know if you can see my wrist size, dude. That's a big wrist. And but it's also my personal opinion. So if you have a beautiful wrist and a beautiful wrist size and you can make that watch look good, it's all you. For me, I was not able to make it look good. Some people can wear anything and everything and make it great. For me, it might not be that great. I mean, I'm wearing a green Iowa trucker hat. I don't know if it looks good or not, but I could not pull off that active watch. It was too small for my wrist, and it just didn't it didn't look good. Duke, thank you. Yeah, it's the longevity of the YouTube channel, and it's got a pretty good growth. What's the opinion on the Galaxy Tab S6? So the Tab S6 is fantastic. I mean, I wish I had it. It was just too expensive for me. Even though I have a bunch of phones, when it comes down to a tablet, I couldn't justify that. So I purchased the Tab S5e, which actually just came out of the case. So I have the Tab S5e, and it's able to do everything that the Tab 6 was able to do, but I think the camera is different, and I believe that one has, what does the Tab S6 have that this one doesn't? I mean, the main reason why I purchased this was for a larger screen to watch YouTube and to have calls and text on other devices. So with this one was half the price of the Tab 6. And that is why I got the Tab S5e. So, and I have no complaints with it whatsoever. It does a fantastic job. So if you're looking for a brand new tablet, you can't afford the Tab S6, then you can go for the Tab S5e. And that's what I'm going to say is I just couldn't afford the Tab S6. I have the Note 9. I'm still stuck on March 2019 update. Is it a good idea to upgrade to the Note 10 Plus? You know what? There is quite a few differences between the Note 9 and the Note 10 Plus. So if you'd like to go for that update or upgrade, go for it. And I believe you could probably get a pretty good deal on the Note 10 Plus, or just wait for about 6 more months and then the Note 20 will come out. So it's really up to you on that one. Let's see here. What do you think the Samsung should do? What do you think Samsung should put in mind when making their future phones? When it comes down to the future phones, honestly, just keeping it general. I mean, if they can keep the phone having an amazing camera, good battery life, bring down the weight, then I would be happy. And just make the phone more solid. You know what I mean? Like, just make everything work better. They don't need to add anything else in. I would say that if they can improve single take and then bring down the weight and bring down the price, then we'd be fine. That would be good right there. That's what I think that they should do with the future phones. I think Samsung should work on their camera processing Not sure how it performs with the latest model. Yeah, so there's been a lot of issues with the camera on the S20s where they did not focus. My S20 unlocked, got that update, and now it works flawlessly. So I'm just waiting for the AT&T version to get that update as well. Let's see here. Do you remember the eye feature on the S5? I think you can move the screen up and down. Yeah, I remember that, where you could like move your head up and down. I don't think it followed your eyes. The only thing it did with your eyes was that, and that was the Galaxy S4. So I think it was the S4 had, it's actually still on our phones right now in advanced features where it stays on as long as you're looking at it. And then you also had the ability to move your head up and down, and it scrolled up and down, and it was pretty cool. I also remembered the phones that had the infrared sensor on the front where you're able to scroll up and down with your fingers. I thought that was fantastic. The Pixel 4 XL has it as well, but it became so annoying because every time that I went to reach for something, it would change a song. So theirs was just too much, and it always worked all the time. So I remember just going to pick something up and it actually changed whatever I was doing, and it was kind of annoying. But yeah, I remember all of those features that Samsung used to have with the S4 and the S5. Did I ever own the Note Edge? It was a great phone before they pushed an update. Yeah, I had it was the Note 4 Edge. So yeah, I owned the Note Edge as well, where it had one edge on one side. And then Samsung went into the infinity displays where they got like really edgy, like big dips. I remember the Note 8 had big curves on each end, and it was a little annoying because my finger would keep touching it, or my palm. And I'd have to say that when it came down to, I think the S10, they kind of streamlined the edge a little bit, so it's not as curvy. And then when it came to the S20, it has less of a dip, which is fantastic. You don't need to have that much dip. But yeah, I had the Note Edge. I think the Note Edge was like 2013, 2014, something like that. Would you say after the update fixing the autofocus, the S20 Ultra has the best camera right now? If not, what would your choice camera? What would I choose camera wise? So the S20 Ultra should hopefully get that update. It's going to look really good. My S20 has it already. It's fantastic. So again, if the S20 is not updated yet, it'll come soon. The update's already been pushed out. The carriers just have to approve of it. And so I have no complaints with this camera right here on the S20. On the S20 Ultra, it just does not autofocus right away. But a lot of times I tap the screen to make it focus on what I want to take a picture of. And so that's actually where it does work flawlessly. So if you have an S20 that is updated, it's awesome. If you don't have an S20, the best camera out there is the Pixel 4 XL. I know a lot of people might try to say iPhone, but iPhone and Samsung and Pixel, they actually all use the same Sony IMS sensors or IMX sensors. And so at the end of the day, it's the exact same photo, but it's just the processor inside the phone making it look whatever it looks like, and the display of if it's AMOLED or LCD. But yeah, I would say the S20 if it's updated. But yeah, lose a little bit of weight and get a better battery life. It's basically like regular fitness when it comes down to a more, what should Samsung do with future phones? Just look at what I should do for my future self, which is I should start running and going back on keto so I can have my energy back, and then I can lose weight. Having better battery life and losing weight on these phones. Do you think Samsung will make another VR? That's a very good question. I don't think that they'll actually make another VR. I think they'll make something different with artificial reality, so AR. So I think that they're kind of done with the AR or with the VR stuff. I don't even know if the S20s can fit in the VRs right now. So I don't think they'll do more virtual reality, but they'll do more augmented reality. Sorry, that's what I was looking for. The Verizon S20 Ultra got the camera update 3 or 4 days ago before the unlocked variant. Awesome, yeah, and Verizon's been really fast with updates too lately. They've been doing very well. Let's see, what do you think of the EU market right now? All feature phones need to make it easier for users to DIY replace battery. Yeah, so I think there was something I read in the news where Samsung and everybody else have to have the same regulations with battery exchange when it comes down to taking it off and putting it back in. So yeah, I think that'll happen as well. but you might as well just take it into a shop and have it done there. So all of the, putting it back together with the silicone and everything around it for the IP rating for dustproof water resistance, you don't want to mess that up. So it's going to be great for other, service centers to actually replace it. I would love to have a front-facing camera on a Galaxy Watch to video chat. It'll kill your battery. Yeah, that's why a lot of the camera stuff is not part of watches. Watches have batteries that are like 350 milliamp hours. They would die if you want to do any type of a video chat. So that's one thing. What's the opinion on rooted phones? I used to root phones 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I think I know a few friends that might do it a little bit here today, but it's not much of a big thing anymore. So I thought rooted phones was kind of a thing in the past. So I don't really have too much opinion on it just because I haven't done it lately, and I don't know if it's still really a big thing. So I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. And I don't want to mess up my phone on accident. I don't want to keep on buying new phones and everything like that. Getting the Buds Plus soon. Yeah, dude, the Buds Plus are fantastic. They sound amazing. They're louder, better sound quality, better battery life. I mean, the Buds Plus are awesome, and the case is really good at battery management when it comes down to charging and when it's not supposed to charge. So it does a really good job. What are the top cases for the S20 line? I mean, I've got some cases from Nimbus 9, Caseology, Scooch, Tech 21. I mean, those are some big brands that I use. I was trying to get Incipio off of Amazon the other day, but their shipping was way too long with what's going on right now. So I'm a big fan of Scooch. The thing is like once you actually have a phone that has the Scooch case on it, I mean, you always use these. I always push these guys, but it's for a reason. It's because I really honestly like their cases. I like the clear ones because you can actually see through it. They have raised bumpers around all four corners that gives you protection. I've dropped my phone several times, but it's mostly what's right here. So you click this open, and then you have your kickstand. You also have a finger grip. This is metal, so I have a car mount. And I just mount it to my car, never falls. And then for wirelessly charging, you just take this off and then you charge it. So Scooch is my favorite brand. That's actually why I keep showing it off and using it. Let's see, what else do we got here? And then I gotta hop off of here. So should we buy a 5G phone now or wait until the networks perfect the technology? I would say, I purchased the AT&T version of the S20 Ultra because of the 5G. I didn't know if Unlocked was going to have better service or not with 5G. And in my area, there is really no 5G. Like, it's in Kansas City, but it's on one street. So you can hold off on 5G for right now. I would say that it is safe to get it because now you're future-proof, and Samsung is future-proof with anything that is to come out in any time in the near future. And so if you want to get a 5G phone, you'd have it now. And once 5G is in your area, or once you travel, when we can travel again, once you travel into a 5G area, it's going to kick 5G instantly. And then you're going to be doing like 1 gigabit per second. I mean, it's ridiculously fast. So it's up to you. I've never hit 5G yet, but we also been in quarantine this entire time since the phone launched. So I haven't had an opportunity to even try 5G yet. And I have a 5G phone. Let's see. Hey man, congratulations on the baby and channel. Best wishes to you. Stay safe with family through this madness. Question, how much I'm looking at to replace my screen protector for the S10 Plus. Are you replacing your screen on the S10 Plus or just the screen protector on the S10 Plus? The screen, the tempered glass that I use is Whitestone Dome glass. It does a fantastic job. And I've dropped my phone a couple times. I've cracked the Whitestone Dome glass, but it's never hurt my phone. Tano So Lit, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? If anybody's never been to Tano So Lit, click on his name right there in the comments. Go to his channel, check out his videos. Fantastic job there, too. Yeah, check out the Wingman Scooch case. They're really nice. That's actually what I'm using now, is the Wingman Scooch case. So that's what I use on all my devices. And then someone recommends the IG Shield, and that's what they use. Is the S9 still a good phone? I mean, the S9, it's good, but when I pick up the S9, because I still have the S9 and I was going to trade it in for a phone and I haven't yet. But when I pick it up, it runs fast. It just happens to be when you get a new phone, it makes all the other ones just look old. So if you're used to the S9 and it's doing a fantastic job, keep using it. Move over whenever you want to upgrade. But when I go to it, just because of the phones that I have, it just dates that phone so much. So anybody who gets a brand new phone kind of understands that, like, wow, I've used this thing for just 12 hours and I look back at this phone and it's so dated. That's kind of what's happening with me right now. So, great chat. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? But I think I'm probably going to call it. It is 10:14. I need to get my little dude to bed. Actually, all of the people to bed. I wanted to hang out for an hour. Just really wanted to answer your questions, give any demos if I needed to. Celebrate that I just hit 8 years today on YouTube. So the very first video ever posted was 8 years ago about the Galaxy Note 1. Check it out. It's so bad. I don't know what camera I used back then, but it had a weird focusing and it cropped it so weird. But that's where I started, in my kitchen or on my carpet or something like that. And I also just hit 1,000 uploads. So I've uploaded a little over 1,000 videos on this channel. And it doesn't count for my smaller channel. My smaller channel has quite a bit as well that I just started. And the Samsung in a Minute channel, if you guys haven't checked it out yet. But also I have Samsung in a Minute. But other than that, guys, I'm going to have to head off of here. Get the kiddos to bed. I'm also actually kind of getting a little tired. My contacts are getting dry. So that's why I've touched my eyes a few times. So getting a little tired. But I think we'll probably just call it here. I have a new video coming up tomorrow morning. It's already scheduled, uploaded, ready to go. And it's how I set up my phone. So it's what I do when I customize my phone past the normal everyday stuff. And Tana Solit, thank you for the $5 super chat. Completely appreciate it, man. 8 years is a long time. Even though the first 3 or 4 was barely any uploads, and then I started trying to take it more seriously about halfway through. But thank you so much, Tana, for the super chat. Thank you everybody for watching this channel. Anybody who likes it, comments, watches, thank you so much. And I guess stay safe, stay at home, self-quarantine, self-isolate, just stay at home. Let's get this stuff over with. This way we can send the kids back to school. We can go back to the gyms, go back to our jobs, and just go back to kind of regular life. But thanks again, everybody. Thanks for watching this live stream. And stay tuned to that new video tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys later.